Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Salay. I am a doctor of physical therapy and a yoga instructor, and today I'm going to be taking you through an intermediate level yoga class. Please remember to modify as needed through our practice, so none of our poses should cause pain. If there's any pain, hold off on that pose and just sit in easy pose, come back in when you're ready. Same thing if you're dealing with any injuries or specific conditions that limit how you should move. If a pose just isn't right for you, hold off on it, sit in easy pose, and then join back in when you're ready. For today's practice, we're gonna start, either you could start sitting in easy pose if that's more comfortable for you, or you could start in kneeling. Okay, your choice, just to settle in for practice. You could also always use a block, put it underneath your hips in kneeling if that's more comfortable. So, go ahead and find your position. Sit up with the spine nice and straight, hands relax on your thighs, palms facing up, close your eyes, connect with your breath. Bring yourself into the present moment, setting an intention to be present here on your mat during practice. If the eyes were closed, you could blink them open. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, draw the hands down through prayer. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down through prayer. One more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, draw the hands down into prayer, pausing at the heart center. Breathe here. And then go ahead and come through all fours. So you're going to be on your hands and knees. We're going to move on and off between cow and downward dog. So first check in with your alignment, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Drop the belly down, look up for cow. Come back through flat back, tuck the toes underneath you, lift the knees, send yourself back into downward dog, maybe keeping a nice deep bend in the knees in downward dog for these first few. Let's move with the breath. So inhale, come through cow. Exhale, wave it back, down dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward dog. Hold downward dog for an extra breath. Drop down to your knees. So you're on all fours. Grounded to the right hand. Lift the left arm up, opening to the left for a little twist. Breathe here. Left arm comes down. Right arm opens, twist to the right. Right arm comes down, tuck the toes underneath you, press back, down dog. Maybe start to straighten through the knees if that feels good for you. Just make sure the hips are going up to the sky, the spine is nice and straight. Hold for 3 breaths. One more breath. Start to walk the feet up toward your hands, coming up to the top of the mat. Once you're there, roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time, coming up through standing. We're going to move through a nice slow vinyasa here together. So bring the feet together. As you inhale, reach the arms up, look up through your hands. Exhale, fold forward, hold your forward fold. One breath. Come up through flat back, fingertips to the floor or hands to the shins. One straight line from the low back to the crown of the head. Breathe. Fold down and step back through plank. Hold plank, one breath. You can either drop to the knees to lower down or lower down through chaturanga. And then you're going to come up either through low cobra or through upward dog, your choice. Again, 1 breath here. And then everyone wave it back to down dog. Hold downward dog 3 breaths. Walk the feet up toward your hands. Come up through flat back. 1 breath. Fold forward. Rise up, reach the arms overhead. Draw the hands down through prayer. Breathe in, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up through flat back. Exhale, step it back to downward dog. Breathe. And then step the right foot forward between your hands. Plant the back heel down. Lift up to warrior 1. Hold and breathe. Hands come down through the hips, down to the hips, straighten through the right knee. Maybe heel toe the back foot in a little bit closer. Both feet are going to be pointing toward the front of the mat. Stand up nice and tall, and then start to hinge forward. First, keeping the back nice and flat as you hinge. And then once you get about halfway, you can relax down, folding over the front leg into pyramid. Breathe here. Keep squaring the hips forward so the right hip is pulling back in space. Keep a slight bend in the right knee. You could always have blocks under your hands to bring the floor higher. If you have tight hamstrings, that's nice to use. 2 more breaths. Hands plant down. Step yourself back into downward dog. Breathe. Left foot steps forward. Lift up, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Breathe and hold. Keep the hips squaring forward, so back hip pulls back, back knee is nice and straight, arms are up to the sky. 2 breaths. Hands to the hips, straighten through the front knee, heel toe the back foot in a little closer, both feet point facing forward. Stand up nice and tall. Start to hinge your hips forward into pyramid. So first with the back nice and flat. Once you're about halfway down, then you can start to round through the spine, relaxing over the left leg. Breathe and hold pyramid. Let the head hang heavy. Keep a slight bend in the left knee. 1 more breath. Hands plant down. Step the back foot back a little bit further, and then step yourself back into downward dog. 2 breaths. From here, right foot's going to step forward between your hands. This time, lift up into warrior 2. Hold warrior 2 and breathe. Check in with your alignment. You want that heel to arch alignment. Hold for 2 breaths. Back hand, so left hand to the left hip. Right arm reaches up. Side bend to the left for reverse warrior. Keep yourself lifted, so don't just collapse down. You want to lift up nice and tall, and then you side bend so it's active. Breathe. Come back through warrior 2. Right elbow goes to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over for side angle. Breathe here, grounding down through the back foot, extending through the top fingertips to feel a nice stretch along the left side body. Maybe sink a little deeper into the hips. Breathe. Come back through warrior two for a breath. Windmill the hands down to border the right foot. Pivot on the back toes. Step back into downward dog. One breath in down dog. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Lift up, warrior two. Virabhadrasana two. Hold and breathe. Make those legs work. Right hand goes to back right hip. Left arm reaches up. So first, find length, extend through the left fingertips, and then bend to the right for a reverse warrior. Come back through warrior two. Hold for a breath. And then the left elbow is going to go to the left thigh, right arm up and over for side angle. Keep that bottom shoulder down away from your ears. Plant through the right foot, extend through the right fingertips. Feeling a stretch along the whole right side body. 2 breaths. Come back up through warrior two. Again, one more breath here. Windmill the hands down to border the right foot. Step back, downward dog. Hold and breathe. Bring the left foot to the center line. Reach the right leg up. Keep the hips square so the right toes are pointing down. 3-legged dog. And then you can open through the hip so the toes open outward and you can lift the leg a little higher. Then go ahead and step the right foot forward between your hands. This time stay high on the back toes, okay? And lift yourself up into crescent lunge. Breathe. Hands come through prayer. We're going to twist to the right. So the left arm's going to come forward, right arm back, twist to the right. Keep your torso stacked over your hips, so don't let yourself drift forward. Pull back so this torso is nice and stacked. Straight up. Breathe. Come back through center. Arms reach up. Hands plant down to border the right foot. Drop the back knee down. Untuck your back toes. Lift up into low lunge. Hold and breathe here. Thinking about allowing the tailbone to drop down a little bit. Feeling a nice stretch along the front of your left hip. Two more breaths. Hands come down to border the right foot. Tuck under your back toes. Lift the back knee. Step back to downward dog. Switching sides. Bring the right foot to the center line. Left leg reaches up. First, keep the toes pointing down, the hips square, so your leg's not going to go as high. Then you can open the leg out, so open the hip out and let the leg go up higher, but keep the shoulders square, so don't let yourself open out to the left. Shoulders are squaring down. Breathe. Left foot steps forward, so pull that foot up and through. Stay high on the back toes, so the back heel is lifted, and lift up into crescent. Breathe and hold. You're almost there with all this leg work. Hands come into prayer. We'll take that twist. So the right hand's forward, the left arm's back, open to the left. Breathe. Come back through center. Hands come down to border the left foot. Drop the back knee down. Untuck the back toes. Lift up, low lunge on the left, Anjaneyasana. Breathe and hold. Allow the tailbone to drop down. Feel a stretch along the right front hip. 3 breaths. Hands plant down to border the left leg. Tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee, step it back down dog. And then option to move through a vinyasa. So coming forward through plank, you could either drop the knees, lower down, come up through low cobra, or stay high, lower to chaturanga. Come up through upward dog. And then everyone wave it back, meeting back in downward dog. 2 more breaths in down dog. Drop down to the knees, cross your feet behind you, come back into sitting. Moving into boat pose. So you have a few options here with boat pose. So everyone start with the feet bent out in front of you, the knees bent out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Arms reach out in front. Hinge yourself back. This is the last bit of hard work, then we get to stretch. So hinge yourself back, but keep the spine straight. Okay, so this is stage 1, and maybe this is enough for you. The abs are gonna pull in, but you wanna make sure you're keeping the breath steady. Don't hold your breath. For more of a challenge, start to lift the feet up, knees are bent, into boat pose here. Whatever variation you're in, just breathe into it. We're gonna hold for 3 more breaths. Last breath here. If the feet are up, drop them down. Cross the feet, sitting up nice and tall. And we're gonna move into some stretching here. Straighten the right leg out. Tuck the left foot in so you're in like somewhat of a figure 4 position. Sit up nice and tall so you're facing the right leg, okay? So a lot of times we want to open to the side, sit up tall to face the right leg. If you can't get the right knee straight without arching back here, sit up tall, get a little bend in that right knee, and sit up nice and tall here, and that's where you're working. You'll work to try to get that right knee straighter. If you're sitting up nice and tall, the knees straight, and you're not feeling much of a stretch, then you can start to fold forward over the right leg, but find length in the spine as you fold forward. Breathe here, couple nice long deep breaths. If you're folding forward, thinking about the right rib cage lifting up and back to keep you facing that right leg. Two more breaths. If you're forward, walk yourself back up and we'll switch sides. So the left leg straightens out, right leg is gonna tuck in. Shift yourself so that you feel even on the sit bones. Again, if you can't, if you're feel like the back is needing to curve to sit in this position, then bend the left knee, sit up nice and tall, face the left leg, work to try to start to straighten this knee. If you could sit up tall with the knee straight, this might still be enough and you could just sit here working into the stretch this way, or maybe you want to take a forward fold over the left leg. So if you're folding forward, find length in the spine as you fold, okay? Whatever variation you choose, breathe into it. Keeping the breath nice and steady. Everyone take 3 more breaths here. If you're forward, walk it back up. Everyone come back to a cross-leg position. Come through all fours. Sit back into a wide leg child's pose. So feet together, knees wide, hands reach out. Let go here. Let the forehead relax on the ground. Connect with your breath. 5 breaths here. And slowly start to walk yourself back up. Cross your feet behind you. Come back to sitting. And then go ahead and make your way to lay down onto your back. Once you're on your back, bring your arms out into a T shape. Knees are bent, feet are together. You're going to lift your hips up, shift them over to the right just a little bit. Relax your hips back down, and then slowly let your legs fall over toward the left. Gaze goes over toward the right. Breathing into your supine twist. Letting go here, letting the hips relax. Keep both shoulders on the ground. We'll hold here 5 breaths. And slowly coming back through center. Once the knees are back up, press into the heels, lift the hips a little bit, shift them to the left. Relax your hips back down, and then slowly let the legs fall over to the right. Slow, slow, slow. Until you're at your end range, or a range that feels comfortable for you. Letting go here. Gaze goes over toward the left hand. Breathe here 5 breaths, keeping both shoulders on the ground. Letting go through the hips. And breathing into your twist. And slowly coming back through center. Once the knees are up, lift the hips up, place them back down so that they're in the center here. Reach the arms overhead, press through the heels, lift up into a full bridge for a moment. Breathe. Lower the hips down, arms come down, and we're going to move to happy baby. So you could either take a modified happy baby where you're holding the inner ankles and the knees go out to the side. So that's one option there. You want to keep the head and the upper back on the ground. For a deeper option, you could hold on to the outside edges of your feet. The feet go up toward the sky. And it's like you're thinking about pulling your knees down toward your armpits. And you're pressing your feet into your hands. So it's like this opposing action here. Keep the breath steady. Keep the entire spine on the ground. So from the head all the way down to the lower back, the sacrum. And breathe. 3 more breaths here. And slowly relax the feet down. Place both feet on the ground, hip width apart. We're going to do one more bridge here. So press into the heels, lift the hips, arms reach overhead. Take a breath here. And then lower yourself back down. Arms come down at your sides. Straighten the knees out for Shavasana. Letting the feet fall out to the sides. Tuck the shoulders underneath you and relax back down to open through the chest. Close your eyes. Connect within here. Letting everything go. From the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. The entire body is relaxing here on the earth. Allowing the mind to move towards stillness. Just focusing here on your breath. Letting whatever happened earlier in your day or whatever you need to do later in your day melt away right now. And just be here in the present moment in Shavasana. Focusing on your breath. If thoughts arise, that's okay. Just notice them and then let them fade into the background. And then redirect your focus onto your breath. We're going to relax here for a little bit longer. Really allowing our practice to integrate. I'll guide you out when we're ready. You could slowly start to bring movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Slowly reach your arms overhead, bring the legs together, extend from your fingertips down to your toes. And then bend through your knees, rolling onto one side, keeping your bottom arm straight out to rest the head on that arm. Taking a moment, laying on the side, connecting with the earth here. And then use your hands to walk yourself back up into a seated position. Easy pose, hands come in prayer at the heart center. We'll close our practice here with a breath together. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Returning to your comfortable breath, relaxing your hands down and blinking your eyes back open to the world around you. Thank you so much for practicing here with me today. Namaste. This has to be the coolest diffuser I've seen. The aesthetic of the Makana Volcano diffuser is unmatched. Just look at the way it looks like a volcano as the diffusing is in process. It also has 3 different settings and works great as a nightlight. This diffuser comes with a set of 6 different therapeutic grade essential oils sourced from around the world, including Madagascar, Italy, and India. And all of the essential oils included in the set smell absolutely incredible. To use the diffuser, simply add filtered water and your essential oils of choice. Remember, with your essential oils, a little goes a long way, so all you need is 5 or 6 drops. You could choose an essential oil to diffuse based on scent preference, or you can choose oils for a specific purpose. Lavender for calming, rosemary for an energy boost, or frankincense to connect with your spiritual side. There's also lemongrass, ylang ylang, and bergamot included with your diffuser. If you want to purchase the Makana Volcano diffuser and the set of 6 essential oils, go to ivl.com by clicking the link below. The regular price is $59.95, but when you use the word yoga when checking out, you'll save 50% and get this product for only $29.95. Click the link below to learn more.